What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
and today we're back at it to answer more questions from you guys in another spine-chilling episode of
For the
Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question, please comment down in the comment section below. Put question in front of your question because we get those questions first.
And looks like my spine-chilling mental prowess has invaded your mind.
Yes, I started thinking about mind chilling, and there was a pause, so it was weird. We were also doing super thinks, so if you guys want your question answered, a guaranteed answer, hit us up with a super thinks. It supports the channel and it gets your question answered. If not, just continue to try to ask that question. We're trying to get to as many as we can. But Magic Eye says, when the Primarchs that can return do, what do you think will happen?
So, a lot. Because once the Primarchs start returning, that means that the end times or the end of all things and the beginning of something grander will happen. Everybody's alluding to it. Lehman Russ has like the wolf times, I believe is what it's called. So yeah, something big will happen when all the Primarchs come back. Currently, there's only been 3 Primarchs that have returned, with a brand new 4th one just recently. So obviously we had Guilliman, Mortarion, Magnus, and now we have the reveal of Angron.
Yes. What's interesting is that I think GW shot themselves in the foot by saying that the Loyalist Primarchs like Vulcan, or what's the other one that you mentioned? Lehman Russ. When they return, something big's going to happen, whereas you don't have that with the traders, which might be why the traders are coming back. Because with Vulcan, like, yes, you need all your little trinkets to be found, and then something epic's going to happen. With the Lion, there isn't anything, right?
No, as far as we know, we just have the whole storyline with the Fallen and Cypher and what's going on with all that.
Yeah.
We have... who else do we have that can come back?
White Scars.
Oh, yeah, Jagtai Khan, yeah. But his storyline is more about, like, Kamara, the Dark Eldar, that type of stuff.
Corvus Corax.
Corax, he's like been hunting demons in the warp, and rumor has it that he's like some like super powered demon thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have Dorn, which we don't know exactly what's going on.
He's coming back, I swear.
The last time we heard anything about him, he was fighting a whole bunch of Chaos Space Marines in a battle barge, and the only thing that was found remaining was a severed hand.
Yes. So now you have his, what is it called?
Scrimshawed Fingers.
Yeah, Scrimshawed Fingers, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
I think that when they come back, though, it is going to be like an epic, I'm taking over my territory. It's like, kind of like Guilliman. Like, Guilliman now is in control of Ultramar and basically that whole sector, and it's almost been split by the Cicatrix Maledictum. So I wonder, like, if Lehman Russ comes back, if you look at his area, he's right, I think, north to Terra, by the Eye of Terror. So, like, he could take over a section there. And then you have Corvus Corax, which is like south, right? It's not the Tempestus. What's the one on the bottom?
The
Pacificus, Ultima, Tempest. Not, well, the south.
The south, yeah. Whatever it is.
So like,
for some reason, I keep thinking Damocles, but that's Tau stuff.
Yeah.
The eastern fringes.
So then he would take over that, and then it just becomes like different little portions.
Right.
If they brought back the Lion is actually in the Ultima Segmentum, isn't he?
Yeah, so it'd just be more reinforcement where Guilliman's at anyway.
Yeah. So I think ultimately, if a Loyalist comes back, the whole point is to structure a campaign around helping Guilliman, because Guilliman is also there. If not, just like taking control of their own domain. So I mean, honestly, it can go like anyway.
Yeah, the way I see it, it's like we'll probably get another Demon Primarch at this point before we get anything Loyalist. Because once the Loyalists start arriving, like I feel like that's going to signal like the lore is going to speed up. Because honestly, if you bring in Fulgrim or Perturabo or Lorgar, nothing's going to change in my opinion.
Right.
Like bringing in more enemies to the Imperium, yeah, you'll get a few campaigns, a few supplements, a new model and whatnot, but like the Imperium won't get into a worse state. No matter what, they're the good guys, and so GW has to keep them alive, keep them, pushing. So no matter what happens, once you start bringing in more help for the good guys, that's what's going to drive the narrative. With the bad guys, you're just going to keep on giving them problems to overcome, but they're going to overcome it.
Yeah, because Mortarion and Magnus were very underwhelming. They showed up, They led their armies for a little bit, and then they were pushed back. Sanguinius did, or not Sanguinius, Gilliman did all of that.
Right, by himself, pretty much. I mean, yeah, he did have like Space Marines and Grey Knights, Custodes, Sisters of Silence, but still, they got pushed back.
I think with the return of Angron now, has it been nothing has been verified of like where he's coming back?
No, like it was a leak, and then GW had to put something official because obviously the leak got out. So yeah, we don't know any lore. We don't know what, how, when, where. We just know that Angron is coming. And a few weeks ago, we were told that the World Eaters were getting a supplement.
Which we already knew from a previous Q&A, I think.
Right, yeah.
But I think what's interesting about him coming back is like he's connected to obviously Armageddon.
Yes.
So if he comes back around Armageddon, then you think like, okay, what loyalist would come back around that area? And there isn't really. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vulcan during the Beast Rises story, like he came out. But again, like there's supposed to be an epic thing when he comes back. So I don't know.
Yeah, kind of piecing things together. There was another leak that was basically somebody on Reddit said that this is what's going to happen, and you could either completely ignore it or kind of pay attention to it. But if the leak is true, then perhaps we'll get like Dante in the Sanguinor taking on Angron in that sector of space. And maybe the Sanguinor some way, somehow will become like the avatar of Sanguinius or have some type of Sanguinius presence or something to help combat a demon Primarch. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah, because if you look at the picture, I'm trying to zoom in, the one that was leaked, it's just basically Cadian Guard. Cadian Guard versus Angron, and it looks like a bunch of Berserkers. And actually, like, are those the new Berserkers that are going to come out?
Yeah, so those are the new Khorne Berserkers. And if you look all the way in the back, you can see some, like, Chaos Cultists, but for Khorne specifically.
Yeah, so the supplement's going to be pretty badass. But yeah, there's no evidence of, like, are the Salamanders there or the Blood Angels there? That's a whole lot of red.
That is, yeah.
If the Blood Angels do come back with the Sanguinor, and yeah. But yeah, those are our thoughts. Did we help answer the question? Not really. GW can do whatever they want, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. And on the same topic, we have Felix Boro, the tip after dark.
Oh.
His question is, if Leman Russ did return, will he be angry or supportive of the Primaris project?
He's always been like a little bitch about everything. He fights every single Primarch that he comes across, all his brothers, and he didn't like the Codex Astartes to the point where, like, if you look at the company of Space Wolves, they don't follow. Like, one company is equal to an entire chapter.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, he's not going to like them, but I think reinforcements are reinforcements, so he's going to have to, probably reluctantly at first, but no matter what, like, GW's not going to be like, well, if you're playing Space Wolves, you can't play Primaris. Like, no.
Right.
So obviously he's going to have to incorporate them into his battle tactics and whatnot.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, interesting, especially like when he starts like taking different crusades, or no, what are they called? Battle companies? No,
sagas.
Sagas, yeah. Those are going to be cool. Those are going to be epic if he ever comes back.
Yeah, hopefully he brings like more Wolfen when he returns.
Yes. Maybe he's a Wolfen.
Ooh.
Sanguinius was in stasis, so like him coming back is like, okay, it makes sense that he's going to look kind of the same as what he used to. If a Primarch that was in the warp, lost in the warp, comes back, I'm going to be pissed if he's not like a little mutated.
Yeah, so Corax has to be mutated.
Yeah. Mostly all of them, right? Even Jagatai Khan?
I would assume, yeah, because Jagatai, even though he didn't go into the warp, he did go into Kamara, and if he is like held captive, he's probably undergone like different torture devices and experiments and whatnot, so yeah, that might even turn him to chaos.
Yeah. This next question comes from John McHugh. Since Space Marines look down on other humans, do Primaris look down on older Space Marines? They are trained not to. They're veterans in comparison to them, and Primaris know their place with the, what are they called? The traditional Marines?
The Firstborn?
Firstborn, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not to say there's not a little bit of like give and take.
Oh yeah, especially when you get into the novels. I can easily see authors going crazy with that whole concept.
Yeah, actually, I was reading the first Horus Rising novel, and there's a little bit of back and forth going on between Loken and the Imperial Fist guy. what's his name?
Oh, Sigismund?
Oh yeah, Sigismund.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're arguing as to who was the better legion, the Imperial Fists or the Luna Wolves.
Yeah. And then also, like, with the Horus Heresy, you always look at Terranborn versus everybody else.
That's right. Yeah.
Terranborn were supposed to be pure, supposed to be more loyal and stuff like that, but they're also older, so not as up to date, I guess.
Correcto mundo.
But yeah, next question.
This one is by Brian B. If the seasons each represented a chaos god, which one would they be?
Khorne is obviously summer.
Yeah.
Tzeentch would be winter.
I
Slaanesh
was
would
gonna
be
say fall,
why?
because like that's when seasons change.
Oh,
you're
the
going
changer
from-
of ways, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say Nurg will fall because everything's falling, everything's rotting.
dying. Yeah, but I would say that would be winter where things are kind of like dead.
Oh yeah, that actually. So if we flip those two, and then obviously
Spring,
Yeah,
Slaanesh.
Slaanesh. That's where the summer dresses come out.
Yeah.
Because that is funny, right? Like Easter is still in spring, and that's when they bring out the summer dresses. Not that we're into that.
Yet.
Next question comes from Patty Man. Can I use Q as short for question? No.
No, we don't know what Q means.
It could mean Questoris, Quiz, Quiznos. Do you guys remember Quiznos?
That's not a thing anymore, right?
No, I don't think so. Next one.
Reynil Calderon. Is the Imperium accepting any advanced form of humans, kind of like the mecharachnids?
No.
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, probably not.
Even though, like, you made me think of, like, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and, like, you could argue that Adeptus Mechanicus, especially tech priests, they're not human. They're androids at that point.
At that point, yeah.
Especially when you look at Belisarius' Call.
Mm-hmm.
No human's going to be alive over 10,000 years.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's wishy-washy because even though like the Imperium is very xenophobic, human is very loose.
Yeah.
Like you could put a whole bunch of bionics. You can have augmentation. Yeah, you could be a voidborn. You could be even corrupted by like the warp or other things. And even though you were human or you currently still are, just because you look different, they're gonna ostracize you. So.
Yeah. I think the best example of, like, borderline, like, not human is, like, someone like Bridget B. I mean, just look at her.
Right.
That's a goddess. Yeah. Built, not born.
Oh.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down in the comment section below. Again, thank you ahead of time if you guys give us a super thanks. It really supports the channel. Also, share with your friends if you guys enjoy the show. Hopefully your friends would also listen to us while they go to work, while they paint, or do some other shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans are always fun. And with that being said, guys, this has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.